Good morning everyone, it's Thursday morning here in the Sable d'Olonne. It's been beautiful weather, but it's got a bit overcast now. And there's still 3 left sailing, and we're hoping to see Igor back in Albany later this year. So Tapio going nowhere today. He's basically becalmed, making half a knot, and he's still got 5,200 miles to go. If we enlarge that, we'll see exactly what's going on. These times, by the way, we've got this at 8 o'clock, so they're about 20 minutes old. It's just coming up to 9:30 now, half an hour old, the positions. And you can see very clearly why he's going nowhere. He's got a big hole there, and it's likely to continue for a while. He's just been packing garbage, so he's got to wash out all his garbage and then compress it and then pack it. And if he doesn't do it right, by the time he puts it away, if it's not cleaned properly, it'll be festering by the time he gets to the equator, so a bit of a problem. Anyway, if we just push this through every 3 hours, we'll just watch the animation. He starts to get a bit of a breeze from behind, so he can put a spinnaker up. At least there's something there. So it's going to be basically, this is by a day away. It's going to be a day of frustration. It's very light winds, and it's not going to go away in a hurry. If we go through for literally the second day, when the winds come back, he's on the wrong side of the system, and he's going to get headwinds. So that's not going to keep him happy. So 2 days out, he's going to be attacking all over the ocean, because he doesn't like going to windward, especially in light weather, because the drag is accentuated in terms of a proportion of your boat speed. So that's by day 3, he's still got these headwinds, so won't make much progress. Suhaili's not doing much better. She'll, if she was here now, she's got big group of headwinds as well. So anyway, more calms if he does start to make progress. Then this is 4 days out. The winds are favourable. He's starting to head north, but not with anything like strong breezes. So by then, if we look at, this is 4 days away. I doubt whether he'll even be up here. That's 150 miles away. So if he's lucky, in another 4 days, he might be about here somewhere. This is where you're really going to see him slow down. And if we look at the big picture up forward, still lots of calm patches in these horse latitudes, and effectively what would normally be the trade winds, they're just not there. So it's a transition of the seasons as well, which is going to cause this little bit of instability. So Tapio's, you can see big holes. He'll be up here, still frustrations. This is the coming through now to the 4th, so it's nearly 5 days away, and nothing for him to look forward to at all. He's got big areas of nothing. Okay, so this is on the 4th, this is on the 5th, so it's 6 days. By 6 days he'll be up here, and then if we look, then he's back. That's the start of the that's sort of like the southeasterly trades. But if you remember, when the southeasterly trades were coming back here, by the time they got through this, they were hoping to get up to these easterlies, and then they can reach up north. So Tapio's got a slow region, whereas Mark and Jean-Luc and even Uku, when they came up here, Mark and Jean-Luc got the best run certainly, but Uku and Istvan didn't do too bad, but Tapio's lucking out. Anyway, when he gets to here, he'll be on his way to the equator up here, and it's reasonable sailing. But the next week for Tapio, not much fun. I mean, it'll be enjoyable, but he's not going to be sailing very far, so that's not what he hopes to see. Now, at the moment, Istvan's not doing much better. He's got this area of no wind directly in front of him. He's got an easterly, a light easterly, so he's making 2.5 knots. And he's got challenges now to get up to, this is the Azores here, of course, and this is the area where normally you get the Azores high hanging around. And Uku's done very well. He's going the inside track, and it's going to suit his weather perfectly. Normally it's a bit risky, because normally with the high here you're going to get headwinds, but the system now being driven by these low pressure systems up the top has squashed it all down, and he's still on the right side of this high here, so he's getting favourable wind direction. But Istvan's got to try and push through this somehow. So we'll just look at Istvan for the moment. I'll just focus on that, and just pushing through every 3 hours. So this is coming through to a day away. He's going to have an easterly, so he'll be able to head north. This is shaping up to be the typical part of the Azores High, and normally he wants to come north now and get on this side of it. He can't really go through the middle like Uku did. He's got, this is nearly 2 days out. He's got enough breeze to keep moving, so he'll slowly be making progress north, nothing fast, but at least he'll be getting up there. And he wants to get up into this area here because it's all favourable, so that's looking reasonable. So he'll have progress, but it'll just be average speed-wise. At least he's not going to get stuck in a hole. That's the main thing. Not for now anyway, but by then, okay, so this is, let's just go forward a little bit further. This is actually now 4 days ahead. So he's probably going to do 80 miles a day at least, so 8 4 32, so it'll be about 300 miles. He could be 300 miles up by then from where he is now. So he's just going to be hanging in there, I think, to get this sort of breeze. But remembering, here's the Azores, and if you watch what happens next, I think you'll find these all joined together, and he's still got challenges. So at this point, if I just hit onto that one there again, keep pushing through every 3 hours. Yeah, basically he's still going up there. There's no center there at the moment. There's sort of a thing going on here, but this is another day, so he'll be up here, so that's kind of good. He's pushing up, but then here's where the challenges might start. Now you've got this system here, this high pressure system forming, and he's on the wrong side of that. So even after you know, sort of 4 or 5 days of slow progress north, all of a sudden he's going to get hit by headwinds, and he'll have to decide what he wants to do at that point. If he decides to head out to the east and this thing keeps building and goes on top of it, he's just going to have day after day of headwinds. So you can see here, you imagine now if he was here, he's going to get days of headwinds, which is not enjoyable. So he's got the challenge again. Where does he go? He needs to then get on the other side of it, because this center is coming across the top of him. So again, he'll be challenged to get the other side of it if this forecast is true. It's 7 days away, and the forecast could change. This center might change, but you know, his farm's got challenges. There's nothing's easy for him there, so it'll be slow progress. Now let's just look at the big picture for Uku, and he's looking extremely good at the moment. If we just focus in on that again, you can see he's got good following breezes there. Right now he's doing 4.7 knots, and he's got about, what do we got? He's only got 1,160 miles to go, so not too far to go. Anyway, so we'll do the same thing again. We'll push this through every 3 hours and just watch the animation. This is all good breezes. He's still staying on the east side. It's going to go a bit light, so in the next 2 days he's not going to make a whole heap, but he'll still have the breeze. He won't get caught in this hole. I think you'll find him just ahead of it. So still be sailing, and if he hooks into this, he's off and running. He's actually got these strong southwesterlies pushing him exactly on line to the finish, and that's going to go for a few days. And in fact, we'll be watching this, because this could come over the top of him depending on where he is. And he's getting good forecasting, so I think he'll know it's coming, and I think you'll find he'll dip a little bit more to the east to stay away from that. But look at these breezes. He'll be doing 6-7 knots on this. He'll be flying, so you couldn't ask for any better if you're trying to rush to the finish. And even when it goes, by then, okay, so this is the 3rd, so it's 3, that's nearly 4 days up. Let's say that's nearly 600 miles at that stage. Okay, 600 miles. He could be up here. He could be around about there at that stage. So just remembering that, imagine he's still there at that stage. This is on the 3rd. You keep going through, he's got constant westerly breezes, which is fantastic, going into southwesterly, just pushing him to the finish. And then he may be impacted with this a little bit. Remembering now we're 6 days ahead, so the forecast could change, but he might slow down for 12 hours there. Then he's got northwesterlies, which is still good, because remember his course is going in that way. I'll just focus on that. So this is the 5th. He's got northerlies here. That's headwinds. That'll slow him up a bit, but it's moving so fast. That's a day. It's only 1 day, and then it goes back around again to push him to the finish. That system there will take him all the way to the finish. And what we've got to watch is what's going to happen to this system. It's a storm coming through, big winds. There's 60 knots or so there, pushing him through. he's going to have to contend with this. You know, he'll and it could change because we're now nearly 8 days ahead of where we are now, and of course the forecast gets a bit unreliable that far ahead. It could get worse, it could get better, but generally speaking, you'd have to say the wind direction is right. So if he survives all that and gets through that lot, it's just a nice breeze to the finish. And now what you're talking about there is the weekend. That's Saturday, the 9th. So I'm pretty confident that Uku might be arriving on, let's say, Sunday sometime, maybe even as early as Saturday. We just got to wait and see. I mean, it's a long way to go. Maybe Monday, but if I was a betting man now, you're not allowed to bet on the GGR, but I'd say probably Sunday. So we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. That's really about it. All's well on Uku's boat. No strange messages, and the same with Istvan. He's sailing well. So we'll get a French language tracker update tomorrow. And we'll do the question and answers again on Saturday. So if you've got anything you need to know, just stick them in the comments. See it on Facebook today. See you later. Thanks a lot.